I'm JQ.
I'm TQ.
We're the Q Brothers, and this is Small Thought TV.
We're here in a new office today, which has no decorations as you can see, but we're here to talk about something.
Something that's difficult to talk about. Not for us on camera, but when you're talking to a person, it's hard to tell someone they have bad breath.
We're talking about bad breath.
Halitosis.
Yeah. And we're not talking about the occasional, like, you ate onions or garlic.
Well, we'll even talk about that.
We will. But I'm saying some of this is geared towards, like, you or someone you know, who maybe kind of has that, like, often or quite often noticed problem of stank-ass breath.
Wow. All right, so let's talk about, I guess, first what causes bad breath.
Yeah.
So one of the major culprits is smokers.
Smoke. Yeah.
Stop smoking.
Yeah, tobacco in general.
If you smoke, then and you have bad breath. You have bad breath because you smoke, and you're also doing tons of other bad things. That's the least of your concerns. You should quit for a million other reasons.
Yeah.
If you want to, we like this book. I have a bunch of friends who've read it.
Hold it up.
It's helped them. Alan Carr's Easy Way to Stop Smoking. It's had millions of people use it. It works well. He in fact tells you to smoke while you're reading it throughout it, and then just slowly changes the way you think about it, and by the end you don't want to have one.
Wow.
He even has you have your last cigarette at the end of the book and you're just done. It's really crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very cool. He has a similar one for drinking, if that's an issue for anybody too. I don't know. No hints here. No hints.
All right. So what else are we talking about today?
Bacteria buildup. Now, assuming that you floss and brush your teeth regularly, most likely the culprit is the bacteria buildup on your tongue. And
That's
in fact, I have a stat here. What is it? It's bacteria that basically
Decaying bacteria causes sulfur compounds on the back of the tongue.
Look at this stat.
That account for 80 to 95% of all halitosis.
Wow.
Tongue.
So now you'll meet a lot of people say, I brush my tongue.
That's what people always say. I brush my tongue.
Like, you know what? A brush was not intended or designed to brush a tongue.
Yeah.
It's intended for a hard surface because it's a soft thing. And so you can get some of the bacteria off, but you're not, like, when you use a tongue scraper, it is like...
Well, what a brush does, if you think about a wall, right, and you're painting a wall, I always say this, I always talk about shaving and using the brush on a wall and how good a brush is at covering a wall. If Jay was gonna paint a wall with his hand and I was gonna paint it with a brush, there's no doubt who would win in covering more surface. But brushing a tongue, your goal is to get that off. A brush is pushing and moving stuff around. A tongue is way more porous and crazy texture and spongy and little nooks and crannies than a wall. And imagine what you're doing, you're taking a brush, and yeah, I'm sure you're getting some things off the excess, but you're also just pushing things down and spreading it around because you're doing, in essence, painting your tongue with something.
Yeah.
Just happens to be painting your tongue with a mixture of toothpaste and
people think it's really gross to use a tongue cleaner. It is really gross not to, I think, and that's the key. It's like you'll see the first few times you do it, this stuff come off and you're really grossed out. It's really gross to think about that just staying on your tongue.
You know what I liken it to? The grossness of squeezing out a zit. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's gross, but how good does it feel to get that off? Like, you know what I mean? Like you have a boil, something on you, you want to get that out. That's like the equivalent of scraping your tongue. It's like, you do it, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that was on my body. And you're like,
I feel so much better.
I'm so happy this is off of my body.
And the other thing is that not only does it help with your bad breath, but you taste food better when you use a tongue cleaner regularly. You actually improve your taste buds, which is awesome. I mean, who doesn't? We live in Chicago. The food here is so good. I wouldn't want to taste it better, you know?
Yeah, it's excellent.
Okay, the other thing is acid reflux.
Well, first of all, Jay, would you run off quickly and test this?
Yes.
Go! Welcome back.
Thanks. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It feels so much better. I feel like I just popped a zit on my tongue.
All right, so let's talk other topics.
So, Acid reflux. No, we're not going to get into this. We have
a whole video. We'll link it up below.
We'll link that one up.
But acid reflux definitely has a breath issue.
Yeah.
So if you got acid going on, you got bigger, deeper problems on the breath front.
So the other issue is something you ate, right?
Yeah.
So people who enjoy curries or onions or garlic or fish.
Last night I had a sandwich or a little burrito with some red onions, heavy on the red onions. It was delicious, but you know.
It was kicking.
Yeah, it's kicking.
So anyway, the things that work well for that, particularly well for that, are things like, you'll see people use mints, but the problem is those mints have no actual mint in them. They're like menthol, candies.
A lot of artificial flavors or something like that. And what I find is the higher in sugar, when you get something minty but it's really high in sugar, the sugar kind of has that like fermented sour taste afterwards. So it smells good for like a minute, and then as soon as it's melted, you got that sour, sweet breath.
So the nice thing about these are pure mints, and we love these because it's, first of all, it's cane sugar, a little bit of cane sugar.
Yeah, there's a tiny bit of sweetness.
And the nice thing about it is it has real peppermint oil in there.
Yeah. Peppermint oil.
Parsley, chlorella, and chamomile.
Yep, you're right.
And so parsley, here's a good example. If your dish comes with garnish, eat it at the end of a meal. Eat it. It's supposed to be eaten.
Parsley is great. Greens in general.
Greens are high in chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll.
That's
Chlorophyll is an internal cleanser for your body.
Right.
So you're going to get the green, usually anything with greens. That's why, you know what, we love to eat salads after a meal. We're sort of more,
French
we're more European than you guys. No, but we grew up doing that. At some point we decided, we're all eating, my family, we always ate our salad afterwards. And when you have a big crazy meal of something rich or heavy in spices or whatever we often do, then the greens not only give you the roughage to help push it through digestively, but it also cleanses your palate, and you sort of get this nice green freshness coming through. You know?
Yeah. I mean, other things you can do is you can chew on a sprig of mint or eat a little bit of mint. You can eat the parsley, chew on a cinnamon stick.
Also,
my favorite is saunf.
Saunf. If you go to an Indian restaurant, you ever see the little bowl of what is it, caraway seeds?
Fennel
seeds, yeah.
And carrots.
And there's usually some caraway or something like that in there. But that's designed, it does the same thing. Gives you this,
and to clean them
exactly.
out. Yeah. The other thing that if you're into sprays, this spray, I really like this spray. This is Herb Farm's Herbal Breath Tonic. And the reason I like this is because, look what's in it, peppermint, cinnamon, clove, and ginger. So it gets deep to the root, like you feel it get deep to your breath. You know, not just cover your mouth. And
this isn't Banaka sugary spray.
No, and it also it is good for digestion, obviously, because of that. These are pure extracts.
Yeah.
And they put
herbal extracts.
And they put peppermint essential oil too.
Like it.
Oh!
I'm just going for one because that's strong stuff.
That clears my sinuses out.
Yeah, wow. Whew, I'm breathing nicely.
Ah, that's great.
Feels great.
This is great stuff.
Let's keep it moving.
Favorite.
Yeah,
it's our other brother.
Our other brother, and he is he's got good breath. That kid.
Want to talk about these?
Yeah,
these are your favorites, right?
Then you know what? I don't use them that often because I am a sort of little sensitive to tea tree, but I do love it. I wish I could. I love the tea. These are the tea tree chewing sticks. You ever see like baseball players?
Cinnamon.
Dusty Baker, when he was manager of the Cubs, became famous. We sold a ton of them at that time.
And it's an awesome thing because it is. It also helps germs. Smoking too.
Helps people quit smoking. A lot of smokers try to quit using these to satisfy that mouth, something in your mouth, and the hold it in your hands feeling. But also, tea tree oil kills bacteria and germs, so you're doing your teeth a favor, not only your breath a favor, by like killing...
And your gums, yeah.
Yeah, your gums, it's great. So I'm a big fan of the tea tree chewing sticks. Plus, like, I don't care what you people say, all you people are like stuffy and think toothpicks look bad, they look cool. I know because I carry one quite often and I'm quite cool.
So we talked about parsley and we talked about chlorophyll. Now we have a liquid chlorophyll.
Yeah, this is, there's a few out there. This one's from Nature's Way, Chlorofresh. And this is a good way, if you kind of feel like, you know, this will help in the mouth, but it also has sort of that feeling of like, hey, maybe you got something a little deeper going on. Like you're kind of getting, maybe it's the acid reflux, maybe it's something digestively. You know, there are people, also people are on people a long time ago, people on medications That's another issue we didn't mention. And sometimes the Chlorofresh can help those people if you're getting some sort of like bad odor that comes from a medication. First of all, hopefully you need to take the medication. Let's question that, but that's a separate topic. But assuming you do, and there's no other natural alternative that you can use, then I think this would be a good option. I know a couple people like that who had that issue. You know what? Does this come out? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa,
it's dark.
Yeah, so I'm going to set it right here because that's pretty dark and I didn't mean to spill that all over. I'm kind of going crazy right now.
Kind of try.
Did you? Wow!
I'm excited. I've never.
It's great. It's like taking a concentrated little dose. It's like a shot of green smoothie, but just the greens portion. No fruit, no anything. Wow. It's really light and fresh. Well, look how dark it is.
There's a little glycerin in the base, which makes it a little sweet. Wow, that is dark. We just kept the table.
Yeah, we just ruined the tablecloth. That's alright. It's green tablecloth.
Wow, that's really nice, actually.
Yeah. That's a nice way to finish. So, you know, this is something to consider.
I would also just like to just throw in a couple things. One, you think about, oh, what did I eat to give my breath, or to make my breath bad? But you got to remember what you didn't eat too. And so a lot of people, diabetics often, and people who are dieting, they basically.
If you're doing the protein only, no carbs.
If you're doing no carb or slow carb diet, what happens is your body doesn't have any readily available carbohydrates, and so it turns to your fat supply to burn it up. That's why the diet works, right? But what happens during that is a thing called ketosis. That's what that's called, when your body turns to fat to burn it. Mm-hmm. It's called ketosis, and when that happens, you release a chemical called ketones, which can mess with the pH of the body temporarily, causing that acidic, stanky breath. And so that would be another thing. If you're dieting, or if you're diabetic, or if you avoid carbs in general, then this would be maybe a good option for you, because obviously you're doing something.
Also, this, if you read on here, this is getting a little more medical, but people who have colostomy or ileostomy or have to wear a bag, they actually take this as part of their diet to reduce odor from waste. That's cool. So it's a really cool medical uses as well. But anyway, how's my breath smell, kid?
Fresh.
Yeah. So fresh and so clean.